yeah, man, it's been crazy. It's been crazy lately. I feel like now, especially on my side of social, in my little bubble of people that I kind of know, I feel like there's a very tense moment politically. I feel like with the death of Charlie Kirk, not to go on about it too much because there are some people, Hassan Piker and shit, who are really gloating and not gloating, who are really trying to milk, who are really, 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 really milking this fucking what you call it, Charlie Kirk assassination. But I feel like since the death of Charlie Kirk, I feel like people have lost friends. Maybe I'm not reading this right, but I feel like people are losing friends. I feel like people are losing friends, people are losing their minds, and just all hell was breaking loose because of where people are falling. Because I think this Charlie Kirk situation or this assassination, I think it's very particular, it's very interesting. Because I think there are some people out there that just don't agree with political violence at all, point blank, who don't even align with Charlie Kirk, who aren't even right wing, who are kind of saying, hey, it's not cool to celebrate it. So if you're on your timeline and you see one of your friends posting a meme taking the piss out of somebody dying in that way, and you just don't agree with that violence at all, you might be left leaning, but you just don't agree with that violence, you're going to take that to heart. You're going to feel like it's an attack on you. You're going to feel like it says something about that person. You're going to think all those bad things you thought about Charlie Kirk, you're going to then superimpose them onto your friend. And now we're having all these weird things going on where people are like fighting each other. Like even now there's a whole big thing in America where people are canceling each other. They're essentially taking pictures of regular citizens and trying to get a hold of their details, find them on LinkedIn, tag their managers, tag their company and say, hey, does this person's views represent your company? That person gets fired. Like grown-ups with like responsibilities, with family, people that rely on them, they're getting cancelled posting and it's not like they're like Harlem shaking. It's not like they're burning a Charlie Kirk effigy. They're merely reposting memes and shit. We're getting to a dangerous place because, as I said the other day, all the people celebrating Charlie Kirk's passing or his death in that brutal fashion, if and when, God forbid, God forbid, touch wood, somebody on the left-hand side gets slain, I don't want to see those same people crying on the internet. I know they will, but I don't want to see those same people crying on the internet. If you do, then you're full of shit. If I see you crying on the internet after you celebrating this guy's death and somebody on your side, guy or girl or they or them gets slain, you are full of shit. But I know it's gonna happen. And now the reverse too. Everyone on the right hand side is canceling people on the left for celebrating. When somebody on that side, they're gonna take advantage and they're gonna try and cancel you guys even better. And those motherfuckers, they invented cancel culture. You get me? So you're never gonna defeat them. So I don't know, man. I think it's tense out there. My only message I'll send to people is just to say, I hope we can get to a place where we can all just agree to disagree. It's very difficult because politics is very, it's one of those things that kind of grabs at your fucking soul, grabs at your heartstrings. But I wish we could get to a place where we weren't so for lack of a better term, we weren't so infantile. We weren't so immature. We didn't have we don't have I feel like now we don't really have an emotional range or capacity. Everything's about blocking. Everything's about muting. Everything's about everyone's just so precious of their space, so precious of their sanity or whatever, that they just can't handle anything that doesn't agree with what they're on. They have to create this little safe bubble that they kind of exist in. That might actually be the reason why there's such a prevalence of noise cancelling headphones. A very strange reach, by the way, because I use them myself, but this is a very strange reach and conclusion to come to. But I wonder if the prevalence of noise cancelling headphones is because you actually don't want to hear anyone. You want to be in your own bubble. If you have a good pair of noise cancelling headphones, I have a decent one. Mine's a bit ratty. I think I have the Sony ones, the Mark III's. But if you have a decent pair of noise cancelling headphones, you know how good those things are, especially when you're on a flight. Those things work really fucking well. You can't hear jack shit around you. The sound is fucking amazing. And it literally transports you to another world. It fucking gives the music you're listening to a different type of texture, different type of vibe. It makes podcasts smash into your fucking prefrontal cortex. It's really fucking crazy. But it also cuts you off from the world. Purposely. You get to avoid a lot of things. So I wonder if our lack of being able to just even listen, coexist with people who we don't agree with politically, has something to do with the fucking increase of people wearing headphones everywhere. You see people on dates. I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen people on dates with headphones in. People who clearly look like they're in a relationship. I've seen friends hanging out together with headphones in. So I wonder if that's the reason, because we're so immature. We have such emotion. We have such a lack of emotional range. We have no ability to kind of handle tough things, tough conversations. Everything has to be safe. Everything has to be within our wheelhouse. Everything has to be within our kind of liking and preference and shit. That when we hear somebody saying something that's opposed to us, we just frazzle. We kind of shake. We combust. Do you know what I mean? We faint. We have a fucking stroke. Like, it's not that deep. It really isn't that deep. It honestly isn't. I think you can coexist. I think if you're left-leaning and you have right-wing friends, it's not that deep, bro. They're just the opposite of you. And who's to say you're even right? Who's to say they're right? Neither of you are right. You know what I mean? It's somewhere in the middle, really. Let's take the best of you, the best of their group, and bring it together. It doesn't really happen anymore, but that's what should be happening. But no one does. Oh, by the way, have you noticed, just a little short point. Have you noticed the lack of trying to bring the country together? You know, that's the mad thing as well. Have you noticed Charlie Kirk's passing, and they've increased the divide. They've increased the fucking beef. They've increased it. No one has come out forget Trump even. He's the president, but no one's come out and tried to galvanize the American people and say, cool, let's use this moment, as tragic as it is, to kind of calm down, to settle all the to bring down the temperature, right? To calm everybody down somewhat, and bring us to somewhat of a mutual agreement. Bring us to the table at least to have a conversation so we can unite the country. Because this is going too far. Because if you're a student of history, like I am, mostly through podcasts and fucking random books, but if you're a student of history, you will know once this political violence starts, there's no stop. There's no stop. It's just going to keep ramping up and up and up and up. But you can stop it if your leadership, if the people in power decide to do the responsible adult thing, the grown-up thing, what leaders should do, and step in and say, hey, enough. It's gone too far now. But no one does that. I wonder why. They like keeping us divided across the board. I wonder why that is. Because really and truly, like, we can coexist, bro. You can have friends in your social group who are right-wing. Even my UK people, you can have friends who are Tories, and it's okay, bro. It's not that deep. It's okay. It's okay. You can have friends that are Tories, and it's okay. You might not agree with them in terms of their worldview, politically, societally. They might, they might irk you, but it's okay. You can get over it. It's pretty much fine. If anything, just avoid talking about politics, really, isn't it? That's what I would do if I was really emotional, if I was really fucking sensitive, if that shit meant something to me. I would just avoid talking to my friends who don't agree politically about politics. But people don't do that. Motherfuckers are out here trying to convert or trying to speak sense to people as if they're the one speaking sense. That's what I don't understand. This assumption that you're the one that has all the answers. Oh no, my side is right. How do you know that? What gives you that feeling? What gives you that feeling? What makes you believe that you are in the right? They don't. Why can't the other person be in the right? Why do you have to be in the right? Ask yourself that question. But again, what do I know? What do I know? Absolutely nothing. One thing that I'm really surprised about, though, but I wonder if this is just a shift in what we're seeing in terms of politics overall, but it does feel kind of strange, all of these tributes that Charlie Kirk is having across all the NFL stadiums around the country, especially in America, or mostly in America. What's that all about? No one's really explained that to me. I'm sure there's a reason behind it. Maybe he was a big football fan, but I'm surprised to see the amount. But then actually, now thinking about it out loud, maybe the people who are doing these tributes to Charlie Kirk at NFL team stadiums are the owners. Because you'd imagine if you're a billionaire and you own a football team, it's safe to say you're probably going to be more right-leaning than you are going to be left-leaning. So maybe a lot of those guys, were fans of him. Maybe are members of fucking Turning Point. I don't know, whatever. Maybe backers, whatever. So that might be the reason why. But I do find it a bit odd. How he's being martyred around the world. I don't know. I find it a bit strange. But anyway, regardless, this is an article courtesy of Fox News. It says multiple NFL teams hold Charlie Kirk tributes prior to their games, and fans welcome the moment. Multiple NFL teams hosting home games during the 1 p.m. window of this past Sunday schedule, conducted pre-game. To be fair, it did happen on Sunday, and it happened on a Saturday, right? I don't know. Regardless, let's go. Turning Point founder Kirk was slain. The reactions to the stadiums were generally welcoming. The Tennessee Titans, Miami Dolphins, New York Jets, New Orleans Saints, and Dallas Cowboys held a moment of silence on Kirk. All put Kirk's photo up on their video boards and asked the home crowd to stand and pay tribute and respects in the wake of Kirk's shooting last week. Let's play this video.
The National Football League asks that you please join us in a moment of silent reflection following the murder of Charlie Kirk. The NFL condemns all violence in our communities. It will take all of us to stop hate. Thank you.
Yeah, fair play. Fair play. By the way, NFL stadiums look incredible, don't they, you know? In terms of a spectator sport, they do a really good job in how they design the stadiums so you can see the field from any part you are in the stands. Obviously, you prefer to be close to the stands, but the way that they kind of curve the stands, it allows you to have like a clear line of sight on the whole field. It's really, really cool how they designed them, man. Some NFL teams honor Kirk, some don't. The NFL coordinator and tribute for Kirk at the Thursday night football game between Green Bay Packers and Washington Commanders, but left the decision whether to have the 13 home teams do it to tribute up to the individual teams. And while a handful of teams chose to either honor Kirk or include him in the tributes and remembrance on September 11th, a handful declined to mention Kirk. There's the tributes there. It should be noted that Bengals, Lions, Ravens, and Steelers did not hold moments of silence or reflection on Kirk's behalf. Steelers previously told Outkick their tribute to Sunday would consist of lowering the stadium flags to half-mast. Cardinals hold chief moment of silence. In a late game window, Arizona Cardinals held a moment of silence ahead of their game against Carolina Panthers. The Cardinals took a moment about 20 minutes before kickoff, even as the stands were sparsely occupied and before the two teams were on the field. Okay, fair play. Also, the people need to be a little bit sensitive and a little bit understanding to the wife. I've seen some conversation around the wife. Oh my God, why is she posting that picture of Charlie Kirk's hands in this casket on the Instagram or whatever? I think she posted it, and people are going on like she's weird and shit. It's like, brother, man, she's mourning, innit? People mourn in different ways. Some people mourn by pretending nothing's happening and it's okay, and then they explode later on down the line, which is probably the way that I'm kind of wired. And a lot of people kind of mourn in those type of ways where they're just like, they're trying to just get through, and they're doing things that appear weird to us, you know, on the outside, but to them, that's a way of them kind of coming to terms with the passing of somebody that meant so much to them. So I wouldn't put too much weight on the whole wife thing. I know some people are running with this narrative that she's trying to be a star herself. I don't think so. I think she's just trying to navigate the waters and try to hold her family together. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm assuming he played a big part in that family, and, you know, now he's gone. You kind of have to step up and kind of fill the shoes of, you know, you kind of have to be both parents at the same time, and she probably was never even thinking about it. So there's a lot to probably handle at once. But nowadays, no one has understanding. No one gives people the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's a demon and the devil as soon as you see them. So it is what it is. It is